We talked to you last, it wasn't officially the Knicks. Now that it is, what challenges do you feel like they present? What do you guys have to look close at in this series?
I mean, they play really hard. They got a lot of different guys. Obviously, they added Cat this year. I'm excited to compete against those guys. We played against them last year. It's obviously a storied rivalry between two franchises. So to add another chapter to it is going to be a lot of fun. And just excited to compete against those guys.
The pace difference is huge. How do you go about making sure the game is played at a tempo you guys want in these games?
We're going to have to get stops. We're going to get stops. Offensively, we are. But if we're not getting stops, if we're not getting stops, not making shots, then you got to play at the other team's pace. So if we're able to get stops and finish every possession with a rebound, like that's the most important thing. Their points per possession goes way up as they grab more and more rebounds. So if we can try to hold them to one possession as much as we can, rebound and run, we'll feel good. But we got to be able to rebound.
You looking forward to the WWE stuff with Jalen in this series?
It's exciting. Obviously, you guys know I'm a diehard WWE fan. Still trying to get Triple H to come to a game, working on it. It's pretty cool that that happened this summer, and here we are. So it's a pretty cool storyline. I'm all into long-term booking and all those things, and I'm sure it goes along with everybody who thinks there's a script. They think Triple H had something to do with it. So I'm excited about it.
How did you guys pull that off last year in the first place? I mean, how did that all come together?
Obviously I have a really good relationship with WWE, really good relationship with Triple H, and I got a call that they wanted me to come to the Garden. It was like, no question, I'll be there. Had no idea Jalen was going until I got there, and they're like, "Where's Jalen?" So I called Jalen, and I'm like, "Are you coming?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, so we're really doing this? Like, we're tying it all in." I had no idea until we got there. I think he knew, but I had no idea. It was a pretty cool moment. Obviously, lifelong dream of mine to do anything with WWE, and to do it there and be booed and all that stuff was a lot of fun. So
Did you know he was into it? Is that something you guys talked about during World Cup?
Yeah, we talked about it during World Cup. I always knew he was into it, so it's pretty cool that they were able to pull it off and without any real leaks or anything. It's pretty cool that we were able to pull it off.
From the playoffs and even that moment in the Garden, just how much do you like performing, being in that building? Like, is that hold a special place for you to go in there?
For sure. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. I think last year the series was a lot of fun, back and forth. I felt like nobody could win 2 games in a row until we were able to do it. And I think that going into the series, I think that they didn't like the organization, but I don't think there were certain guys that their fans didn't like, and now they don't really like us too much. So it's all the fun with it, man. And like I said, excited to add more chapters to this storied rivalry and just continue to be a part of it. And, man, I look forward to playing in that building, and I look forward to the crowd environment. It's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that my dad won't be able to go. So, I look forward to the environment for sure.
Speaking of just that playoff series, they have some amazing personnel. Do you feel like they're a completely different team to prepare for, or they really good draw based on that?
Yeah, I feel like obviously Cat presents a whole new challenge, and having OG healthy. Obviously they present, and Mikhail, they present completely different challenges, but I think at the same time, Tibbs is a guy who, he's not a gimmick guy. Everything is very square. What he does, he doesn't change his offense much. He doesn't change their defensive concepts much. It's very, the way he wants to do it. That old school, I think, in that way. So I think they run a lot of, similar stuff, but I think there's definitely different personnel out there. So, we played them 3 times this year. Obviously, early in the year, it was an awful game there in the Garden the last time we were there. We beat them once, and then they beat us one time here. Aaron and Andrew were both kind of hurt a couple times. Miles didn't play in the 3rd game, so it's a little funky when it comes to looking at full film and stuff. But there's obviously bits and pieces you can take from the game, so definitely excited about that.
How do you view that economy? Obviously, you guys play a lot of guys. They play those 5 almost entirely, and certainly I think they played more by far than any 5 in the league. How do you guys view how that could shake out? I mean, just obviously they're really well conditioned. They've been doing that all year, but you guys run a whole bunch of dudes.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna keep being who we are. Keep leaning into our depth. I think the biggest part here is obviously we feel like we have the best bench in the NBA. So when it's second group or second group, we're very confident what our group can do. You know, we're confident at any time, but it'll be a little different. You know, with the majority of the time, if our second group's in there, you're seeing more starters than you usually see.
Sure.
So our second group's got to continue to be who they are, not worry about who's in front of them necessarily. Just continue to play the way they do. You know, fly, keep the pace in the game. You know, the wear down effect. I keep talking about TJ and those guys picking up full court, continuing our pace within our offense. Them having to, if they're keeping their guys on the floor, keep playing the way we do, and then when our first group gets back in there, keep it going. So yeah, I think it's definitely a contrast of styles. They play a slower, more methodical way. A lot through JB. We move the ball more, play a lot more guys. So it's definitely a different styles here, but I think that's what makes our game beautiful.
So how have you seen just Aaron evolve as a shooter? I mean, looking at some of his splits, catching shoes, off the dribble, driving, like how have you seen that kind of take a step forward?
Yeah, I mean, Aaron's always had a strap. I mean, when he came into the NBA, I think that we were always talked about as being kind of two of the best shooters in our class, and so to be here with him, see how hard he works every day, see the extra work he puts in after practice, before practice, all those things, it's no surprise. He works so hard, and I think that we've talked about many times, like, that's just a guy that I think every player in the NBA wants to go to battle with a guy like Aaron Neesmith. So he's just unbelievable when it comes to his work ethic, how hard he plays, and he's just been a big part of what we do. So obviously he's shooting the ball well, but I think where he's really taking a step is being able to dribble the ball up in transition, finishing at the rim. He's always been able to guard. I think he just keeps evolving every year, and so really a big part of what we do. So it's really good to see him playing well, and we look forward to seeing him continue to do that.
You guys haven't had a game for almost a week now. Can you talk about the benefits of having that time off, and are there any downfalls to it? I mean, does it kind of throw your groove off a little bit?
No, I don't think so. I think the benefits behind it are, being able to get proper rest. We've had a couple off days, had a couple good hard practice days. Downfalls, I think that people could say it's like a trap, so you can't really look into that much. Just be ready to go game one. And I bet if you ask certain guys, the downfall would be you got more Rick Carlisle practices. So I mean, it depends on who you ask, but I think those are all good things for us, to have more time to scout, even in the days where we didn't know who we were going to play, being able to work more on what we do internally. I think defensively, knowing if we played Boston or New York, we were going to have to rebound, so continuing to harp on that because we weren't very good on that in the Cleveland series, especially early in the series. So, I think it's been good for us to get more days to work, and hopefully we're ready to go Wednesday.
Throughout the playoffs, you had some outstanding defensive moments individually, and into another physical matchup. How will you know when to pick your spots and then fall back and not try to get second, third?
I was trying to be solid. Playing these guys many times, knowing how they operate. Depending on who I'm guarding, it all poses different threats and different challenges. Obviously, Josh Hart is unbelievable crashing, so don't want to pick up any silly fouls there. With Mikhail back you down and just shoot fadeaways over you, so and you guys know I like to think I'm a good shot blocker. So with Mikhail, I can kind of get baited and then wanting to block every time he shoots the ball and then foul. So I just trying to be solid and just be as good of a team defender as I can be, picking my spots, figuring out how I can be in the right position to help and how I can help rebound. If I can rebound, at a decent level, I like our chances, so I'm going to be able to do that.
Wrist better?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Ben, your highest scoring game this year came against this Knicks team. What do you remember about that night and the opportunities that you had in that game? If anything.
Which one?
You had 38 in early November.
Oh, it's good. The legs were fresh. It's just about watching film, watching how they play, and shooting the right shots.
How do you feel like you've gotten better throughout the playoffs at doing what you need to do to help this team?
I feel like every team is going to give you something different, especially teams get to adjust every game, and I feel like I pretty much was able to watch a lot of film and pretty much adjust quicker than expected what to do for the next game.
Has that gotten easier? Those adjustments, remembering game to game what you need to do differently?
For sure. I mean, we have a lot of help. I have personal coaches at home. I have coaches over here who help me watch a lot of film and just study the game.
You've obviously, you guys pick up full court, but you've taken the ball handler a lot more in these playoffs. But how do you think that's helped you grow as a defender, and how well do you think you've done in those circumstances?
A lot. I always know I could do it. It's just about being put through those situations. And I think I've done a pretty good job. But we're like, as far as we made it, we're far away from the goal. And I think we have to have the right mindset to go on to the next game. Play in less than 48 hours, so pretty much staying locked in on the basics. We were able to have a few off days to go back to our, to the setting, I would say, and pretty much just doing what's us.
You guys obviously play a lot of players. They don't play very many. They kind of stick with that 5 and roll with them. You guys run in 8, 9, 10, 11 guys. What's important for you, I guess, as a second unit to just maintaining pace and maintaining pressure, just to try to tire them out?
Just going out there and playing hard. We know the advantage that we have. It's just all about putting them in the game. Second unit, we go out there and the legs will be fresh. The atmosphere will be even better than any series that we've played before. So it's all about going to the game with the right mindset and just playing the game like it's our last game played.
Rick has talked about you all being in great shape all year, obviously, but how much do you think that was the personal commitment in the offseason from you all? And did you see that early on, like, okay, we can kind of break teams down just by being in better shape?
For sure. It's all about knowing how we play, our style of play. I had to lose a few pounds of muscle because even me, training camp, I was in shape, but I couldn't run. You know what I'm saying? That's the style of play that we play. Every team has a different style of play. So, the quicker every player is able to know the style of play that we're playing and commit to the team, it's going to take us wherever we are right now.
You guys just let your whole season got off to a slow start before really starting well in the December game. What do you think flipped, and is that something that you've been able to carry over into the playoffs?
For sure. We started the season, everybody was, saying that we weren't, last year was a fluke and all this stuff. We don't really forget stuff, and we're not the kind of team to go out there and say, oh, you remember when, you said this or you said that. It's all about, staying with us. At the end of the day, we have a goal. Our goal is to win a championship. We know what it takes for it, and we don't really talk. We just let our brains talk. That's one of the main things that we learn when we're young. We stand by.
And then Brunson has been obviously so good for them in the clutch, especially. What's kind of the key to slowing him down and letting him do what he wants to do?
He's amazing. He's a great player. I feel like we have what it takes. We can't stop him, but we can try and slow him down. And I feel like we have all the depth on the team to be able to slow him down. And I feel like we have J-Walk. I seen that. We have the right mindset to go into game one, and we're not only trying to steal, we're going out there to win every single game. That's my mindset. That's the team's mindset. That's where we stand, and everybody's ready for us.
You like MSG?
Say it again?
You like playing in MSG?
For sure, I love it. I think it loves me more than 11. I'll keep it. Who doesn't like playing MSG, man? Grew up watching all those guys playing MSG. I was telling Jay Walk, I said, yo, you remember when we were in high school? And I was supposed to be doing my homework, but I was watching LeBron James playing in Cleveland and doing all this, pregame routine and throwing the powder and stuff. I said, yo, look where we are right now. We're standing exactly where we were watching the video. So I said, listen, as much as we would want to be involved a little bit more, we gotta appreciate where we are, man. Like winning a championship. How many different players in the NBA has won a championship? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying if I win a championship, I'm gonna retire. But I'm saying that you just gotta take advantage of the opportunity and be grateful.